Hello, it is your sleepless god back with something called What If Medusa Adopted a Child? Well, so I saw a lot of comments. One comment in particular had like 5 names on it. Great comments. I can't say that okay, I'm going to study their names really well. I might not use them in this video because I didn't even study them all the way, but I think the first one I like the best. So whoever, you know who comment this, like their comment, obviously. Comment down and below, what his name is. But I think the first name, for my opinion right now, is the best. The first name right now on that list is the best. And I think I'm going to use that from now on. So thank you very much for that. Also, as well as that, hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Where I'm recording this right now, it is Christmas Eve. So hope you have a Merry Christmas. Hope you have a happy holidays and a good year. Good next year. I'll see you next year. I'm fucking a dad. Doing dad jokes now, and I got a lot for Christmas. Actually, I got all 3 Batman games. I know I'm like, oh, Batman games. That's like, oh, I'm like, don't fucking make fun of me. I got Call of Duty 2, and I got uh Elden Ring as for my Christmas presents this year. And I got I'm obviously gonna get some manga as well. So I got some Berserk manga, and I hope you guys have a happy Christmas as well. So let's start the video. So last time we left off, our main character kind of trained a lot, trained with his body, trained with his mind, trained with his senses, basically how to mimic movements, but also predict them and how they're going to react by using their muscles and their patterns, but also just knowing. Oh, I've seen this move before. Oh, I know what this move is. I know. Just getting to the point where just mimicking moves to the point of knowing what it is going to be because the move has already been made once before. His second coach, Robin Hood, taught him how to be sneaky and stealthy, taught him how to sneak into a room and shoot trick shotting as well. I kind of forgot to mention that, but trick shotting. How to hold 3 arrows in your hand, shoot 3 times, do a backflip and shoot an arrow. How to do the stuff like that. How to move into objects and to shoot them. How to shoot and use the wind to move the arrow and hit someone else. And then his last coach was a character that we know from Japanese culture called Lubu. Lubu was an amazing spear user, and he trained with him too, but he trained him with the field of battle as well as normal training, knowing that every fight will be his death sentence if he loses. But when he finally came back home from all these trainings, he figured out that his mother was dead. And that who killed him was Perseus. And what happened was the only thing that he knew that a snake told him was Perseus lived on an island and killed his mother because of one of the gods. Perseus, when he actually made it to the island, told him the rest that Zeus's wife, Hera, told him to kill Medusa. That's why he killed Perseus's adopted father, as well as hurt Perseus's mother by chaining her up to a wall and cutting off her ring fingers, showing that she'll never be married. And then they were going to fight, and that's where we left off. Let's start the video. Now, Perseus is ready for this. Perseus is angry and rageful, and same as our main character, but you gotta think he's practiced. He's practicing controlling his mind and his body. He knows this is going to be a fight to the death. But something happens. Our Perseus disappears from view. Even his senses around him can't feel him, and he feels something slashes his side. He tries to hit him, but it's gone like air. He doesn't know what's going on, but he can't feel Perseus's senses. He knows what's going to happen. He knows what he has to do. Perseus goes for another slash as he takes it, but grabs Perseus's hand, or where he thinks Perseus's hand is being. Grabs it while the slash, cutting most of his body, as he stabs into Perseus, piercing his side, wrenching him up, and then smashing him into a wall, throwing him out across the sea. As blood comes from Perseus' body, that's where he can sense it. He can smell the blood from the Perseus' wound, as this is where Perseus he uses every lightning in his body to crash down on our main character, hitting his shield. Boom! The lightning strikes and destroys the beach side as he blocks it with his shield. But he smiles. He says, "I think I didn't mention this." As he whispers into Perseus' ears, "I'm a son of Zeus as well." As he pushes him back, doing a slicing motion to where he thinks his head is. Bang! Hitting his head. Shoving something off. A helmet? As it smashes onto the ground. As he can see Perseus again. He can see his muscles, his frame, and also the bloody side. As he smiles. "A gift from Hades, I see. A helmet of invincibility. Lucky enough, I got that thing off before anything got too deadly." As he reaches back and puts his shield up. "Now let's fight." Perseus knows. He knows that he cannot outlast this fight, especially with the wound. So he's just gonna make it short and sweet. Perseus slams forward and slashes him onto the cheek, going as fast as he possibly can. Boom! He goes again, slashing on the leg, putting our main character down to his knees. Perseus is moving so fast because he's using his lightning. Boom! Slashes him on the shoulder. Boom! 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 Perseus tries to go for the head. Boom! Blocks it. 3 slash marks, 1 on his arm, 2 on his legs, and 1 close to his head. He smiles. He says, "I got you this time." Boom! Hits him into the leg, stabbing him. Hits him into the stomach with a kick. Rips out the sword going up to his head. Then Perseus blocks it with his own blade, piercing him down, going down with his. Then he drops his shield. Our main character drops his shield and grabs his spear, slashing down, crushing the earth itself, putting as much lightning and power into it. And he says, "Let me show you something real quick," as he slices one of his Perseus arms off as quick as lightning. As he launches forward, grabbing the spear itself, launching into the air, using Zeus's ability to almost fly for a little bit. He slings down as hard as he possibly can. Boom! Hits it with a bolt of lightning, going as faster, ripping off his entire chest plate and carving into his skin, landing onto the beach, destroying an entire mountaintop behind Perseus. As Perseus tries to stand up, as he grabs the sword, puts it to Perseus' head, and says, I will give your head to the gods," as he lifts it up and shoves it straight down, cutting off his head perfectly. As he grabs Perseus' hair, sending the spear back to his hand, putting it on his back. As he grabs his head and looks up to it, he says, "You're the one who killed my mother. Now I will give you back to our father." As he hits onto the ground, launching all the way up, starting to fly to where the gods are, Olympus, to the heavens themselves as he starts flying, putting lightning and power into it, launching himself into the atmosphere. As his body went so hard, his skin starts to burn off. As the fire around him cooks, he doesn't care. His flesh rips apart as the cuts and the scrapes. He finally makes it to Olympus after 48 hours of flying, landing onto the god's place. When he made it there, he opens the doors as he sees the gods in a meeting, talking about boring things about the mortal realm and how can they fix this and sacrifices, as they do not even recognize his presence until he's right in front of them. As Zeus's smile turns into a grimace as every one of the gods, except Athena, is wondering why this mortal is here, wondering why the presence of this being is correctly here, as he tosses the head in front of Hera. I took your man in charge away from you. I see if you like taking heads so much, why don't you take his? As Hera looks down at Perseus' head and screams almost. What did you do? I killed him. I thought that was obvious. With my own hands, it's not as hard as you expect. He wasn't as strong as you expected, especially with the gifts that you gave him. It might have been fast, or maybe even quick. It might even been a little bit impossible to beat to some of you. But to me, he was easy to kill as a bear. Just had to squeeze his neck a little bit hard. As Zeus kind of grimaced at the sun, but understands his pain. As Athena says, it was your fault that this kid had to kill him. If you did not send Perseus off to kill Medusa, and he looks over and make those new robes, as this is when Perseus is tightening of his sword and looks over finally. And he sees the scales of his mother. And what he sees? Right next to Hera's throne, a shield of his mother's head. Walks over to it. He walks closer as Hera says, no, you can't touch that, not even I can. As he grabs onto it, as he feels his mother's presence right there. Shrinks it down to his size and puts it on. As the gods start to shimmer and shake as his body hardens into almost rock and steel as his presence. The shield itself gives him power. As he caresses it with his hands. This is Aegis. His eyes close, even though they don't have to be, just to know what this darkness feels like. As he kisses the shield itself, putting it back to his waist. I feel like that would be a good prize for my hero. He puts his sword back, puts his spear back. I just wanted to give you this for the occasion. Go back to your meeting, my gods. Bows over to Zeus. Bows over to Poseidon. Bows to Athena. I will be leaving. Before he takes a couple of steps, he collapses from exhaustion and pain. As the gods look at him. As Athena stands up from her throne. standing right in front of the boy. If you do not mind, Father, I will take this boy to the infirmary. I will give him some nectar and nutrients to keep him alive. He's one of the most strongest demigods we have, I would believe. And if to show from the slash on Perseus' neck, he's also the one demigod that I would not want to mess with. As many hours pass away, finally, he wakes up, grabs the shield, Aegis, and he holds onto it tight. Holds onto it to make sure it doesn't leave his sight, because it's the only image that he has of his mother left. The only thing that I could last. As he hears a familiar female voice humming. Athena. Yes. What do you need? Why are you still here? Well, because of a thing that your mother made, we need a new god. Zeus allowed me to appoint any person that I think would be in charge perfectly enough. You mean the gods of snakes, don't you? Yes, very much so. You want me to be in charge, don't you? Exactly. As well as to be the charge of poison, as well as assassination. You will be perfect for that. Being an immortal creature, as well as to figure out a way, as she doesn't even have to say it, to bring my mother back. Yes, to do that. As well as you will keep your abilities that you have now. I just need you to appoint this role to make yourself so you can keep training. What do you mean? I want you to train with me, Percy. I almost said Perseus. I want you to train with me. I want you to train so hard that your body gives out. I want you to train so hard that most of the gods fear you to your existence. I will accept your deal. But I keep Aegis. Deal. You keep it. Thank you. Pix grabs himself up. When I begin. Right. Now. As this is where we're going to end the video. I hope you guys like this. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.